Hey crafty friends, it's Andrea from Prairie Sky DIY, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Manitoba, Canada. Today we are playing with a sketch, and I'm going to do an exact replica of the sketch that I created, and then we're going to step it up a little bit to show you how you can change up elements and design features to create your own. I've got a card base here. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And I've got 4 pieces of patterned paper that are 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. And I'm just going to dry fit them here so I can figure out what the spacing should or could look like. You can absolutely leave this up to the crafting fates and see if it works out for you. I tried that with an earlier card and it most definitely did not work out for me. So you can leave it exactly like this so that all 4 are the same. You can alternate them so that you have one side and the other side alternating. I am going to leave all of these the same, but you can also step it up a little bit by doing 2 flat and then popping 2 up on dimensionals, which I think is what I want to do. So I'm going to do this top one first. And dimensionals are just foam pieces that are adhesive on both sides. So we're going to do 1 and 3 flat, and then 2 and 4 we're going to put up on the foam pieces. Okay, so that's relatively straightish. There's a lot of ish in my craft room if you're just joining. And then I've got the mini dimensionals here, but you could absolutely use the regular sized as well. Personally, 4, 1 on each corner is more than enough. But if you would prefer it to be a little bit more secure, absolutely you can do that. And also this outside area of the dimensionals is also perfectly usable. It is made of exactly the same material. It is adhesive all the way around. So I strongly suggest using the entire sheet to get the biggest bang of your buck. And nobody's going to see it because it's going to be hidden under paper. They're not going to know what it looks like. Okay. So we've got a very picky one here. I have my take your pick tool here. I should be using it, but I'm not because that would make life easy. Okay. And of course, every card I make has a little bit of dog hair because life with pets. All right. The strip here is 5 inches by 3/4 of an inch. I did it half the width of the squares, but I'm going to flip it so that the opposite side is showing for that. And then you can space it however you like for your card. I'm going to kind of do it there, I think looks good. Whoops. Straight and then press. And now I'm going to stamp our sentiment on here. This is a banner. If you have banner dies, you can absolutely go ahead and use them. If you don't have banners, I'm going to show you a fairly easy way that will get it mostly straight. All right, so I prefer when I ink up my stamps to do it stamp pad to stamp because it allows me a little bit more control, and I can see if it's got even pressure. And I'm just going to grab a scrap here. Because it is a clear stamp, sometimes the first impression isn't the greatest, so I like to build up a little bit of color to make sure that it's going to be exactly what I need it to be. Okay, so Valentine's Day, we are going to stamp. Now, because we're making a banner, we're not going to do it to either edge. We're going to do it more kind of centered, or at least that's our aim. Okay, so there's Valentine's Day. We're going to stick this back onto our plastic. And Happy is up top here. And we're going to grab a smaller block because that will afford me a little bit more control. And then we're going to do our test again. Yep, that one looks good. Oops. Crafter disaster in the house. All right. And we'll just do Happy right above. All right, so there's a couple of ways that you can do a banner. This is my preferred way. I like to find approximately the center and then just give it a little snip. And then go corner, corner to the edge of the snip, corner to the end of the snip, and there's one side of the banner. You could leave it like this, or you could notch out the other side. And because that is how I did the sketch, even though it is actually, full disclosure, kind of killing me to do the exact sketch, it was a challenge I made to myself, so I need to do it. All right, so here is our card. I'm actually going to grab our bone folder and just give it a little bit more of a crease because it doesn't feel like it's laying completely flat. And then there's our Happy Valentine's Day. Again, you can lay it flat with adhesive, or you can grab some dimensionals, and I'm going to do 4 on the corners and then 1 in the center, just because it is a little bit longer. I kind of want to have it a little bit more secure. And then I'm going to put, I didn't originally plan to put bling on this, but I am going to because it just feels like it needs it. Okay, and I should have some bling fairly close at hand. All right, so Strawberry Slush. Oops, that guy came right off. Strawberry Slush is the color. So Strawberry Slush is the bling color that I'm going to use. And I don't usually use the larger ones, so I'm going to use them today. And then you can put them anywhere on your card that you like. I prefer a rule of 3, or at least odd numbers. So 1, 3, 5. I don't normally put more than 5 because it's a little excessive, but there is a quick-ish and fairly straightforward Valentine's card. You can use this sketch for any occasion, any paper, any ink, any stamp set. And you can make hundreds of cards with this design to make it quick and easy for yourself when you don't have the brain power to decide what you want to make. Now we're going to move on to a Timid Tiger card. We're going to keep those close at hand as well. And this one has Timid Tiger as our card base. But for this one, I'm stepping it up by adding layers and changing the shape. The basic idea is still the same. I have 4 circles and I have a strip. It's slightly wider. It's 1 inch wide on this one. But we're going to start by putting our basic white base onto our Timid Tiger patterned paper. I've got our piece here that is the same length as the matte layer, which is 4 inches wide by 5 1/4 inches. And I've got a circle for our sentiment instead of a strip. And I've also got, what's the name of this paper? Splash of Sparkles Designer Series paper, cut or punched out with a 1 1/4 inch punch. And then the black is 1 1/2 inches. 1, 2. Okay, where's my other circle? Oh dear. Okay, I try to be prepared and make it look like I'm organized. Oh, there we go. But I always end up messing up somewhere and losing something. I think that's just craft room gremlins. So I am just going to put these guys, all of the pattern paper, onto our circles flat. And then aim for center. This paper is so pretty. I love that every sheet has a little bit of bling. Okay, so there's our paper, and oops. This is actually the color of the entire sheet. It's a 12 by 12 in the pack, but I just punched out a select number just because I wanted something kind of pretty. Now you can either use this side or whatever side of the paper you want. I'm going to use the opposite side and run my tape down. This one I'm going to put right in the middle. And then honestly, I haven't really given this much thought. Black ink on my fingers. Okay, so anytime you have a smudge or ink on your fingers and you don't notice, you can totally use bling or your elements to cover up your oops moments. So I think I'm going to put my sentiment down here, or maybe there to cover that ink splotch. So I'm going to put that down, and then I'm going to figure out where I want to put my circles. I think I kind of like it zigzaggy like that. But I am going to pop each of these guys up onto dimensionals. So squares get 4 circles, in my head get 3. I have no idea why, they just do. And then this sentiment circle, I'm going to stick flat so that I can put it underneath where our sentiments are. But I'm actually going to do a little bit of forethought on this one, which isn't always the case in my craft room. So I'm going to stamp my sentiment, place it on the card, and then put our circles around it. Most of the time, I would probably just take my elements, put them on, and then try to fit the sentiment underneath. But I'm trying to be smarter. Okay, so we'll do happy right there. And then put this guy over. Actually, I'm not going to cover that yet. We're going to do our test piece. Perfect. I think it's time to re-ink my memento. It's getting a little dry. Happy birthday. Stick birthday on there so it doesn't get lost. Okay, so let's place our happy birthday down first. Now with this, you can put any kind of bling on here that you want to. I'm going to stick with the in color dots just because I like how it's coordinated, but I think I might expand it to more than just the Timid Tiger, because I've also got darling duckling. I don't know, I keep wanting to call it baby duck, but that's not the right name. And the strawberry is in there, as well as the Timid Tiger. So this one might get a couple of different ones. Okay, so we're going to put this one up here. This one's going to go down here, I think. This one, I'm just looking for spots that might need to be covered a little bit. Whoops. And then this one will kind of place that way. And actually, I don't know. No, it's not going to pull up, so I'm just going to leave it there. I wanted to move it down a little bit, but it's fine. So let's do, come on, do one there. One is going to go there. Then we'll do duckling there. And we'll put it, oh my gosh. Okay, I'm just going to advance this a little bit. This guy's just about empty, but there's still a little bit of juice in him. So I've got 4. It's a birthday one, so I'm going to add a little bit more bling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there, and then we'll do, actually these two are a little bit too close aligned, and then we'll do one there. All right, so 4, 7, we are good to go. So one sketch, roughly the same idea. We've got our strip, we've got our 4 shapes. This one's got a little bit of a layer. We've got our sentiment banner and our sentiment circle, and a little bit of bling. So you can take a basic idea of a sketch and swap it around however you want. If you've got a little bit more time, play a little bit more, get a little bit more in depth with layers. You could heat emboss, dry emboss, color. Really just give yourself time to play and have fun and enjoy the creative process. It was completely hard for me to kind of stick to the idea of this sketch. I had much more fun stepping it up a little bit. But it is my intention with this series to do exactly as illustrated. And then here's something you can do when you're ready to step it up a little bit. This will be, I'm hoping, weekly, barring any life occurrences. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below. And I will see you very, very soon. Have a great day. Happy creating.